So many of you are probably wondering why there's a new episode to review so soon after Rock Solid Friendship. And it turns out that every weekend from here on out, Canada is actually premiering 2 new episodes of MLP, whereas the rest of the world is only getting 1 per week. I am quite curious as to why this is happening, but no one seems to have a solid answer. Perhaps it was a scheduling error? Perhaps they're experimenting with a new format? Or perhaps they're hoping to release every episode of Season 7 before the movie comes out in a few months in order to build up as much hype as possible. Who knows? But in the meantime, I'm going to get used to releasing 2 new episode reviews every week and see how everything turns out. Now, as to Fluttershy Leans In. I'm actually finding it difficult to talk about this particular entry in Season 7 because there really isn't that much to make it stand out from the other episodes of MLP. Which is rather weird for me to say because it really doesn't start off that way. Angel Bunny starts parkouring around the house, which adds another layer to his character that we haven't seen before. But beyond getting himself injured, he really doesn't have a role in this story at all. Fluttershy pays a visit to Dr. Fauna, and it seems like she also has an opportunity to add some depth to her character. But beyond seeing her getting stressed out, she really doesn't add that much to the story. Fluttershy invites the main 6 over to help her realize her personal dream to open an animal sanctuary. And while she's never mentioned this ever before, there was certainly potential to create an interesting new aspect to her story arc. And it kind of works, except not really. We're introduced to 3 new characters at the recommendations of the rest of the main 6, and not a one of them leaves a lasting impact. Their only role in the story is to go against Fluttershy's wishes for some completely expected outcome we could all see coming from a mile away. Now, on the one hand, it's good to see that Fluttershy wasn't giving in to pressure from the experts trying to change her vision. In the early seasons of the show, Fluttershy would be struggling between realizing her dream and not wanting to confront any pony who's suggesting otherwise. This shows that Fluttershy has indeed taken past lessons to heart by standing up for what she believes in. On the other hand, what exactly did Fluttershy learn from this experience? Did anyone actually grow from overcoming this conflict? There's a lesson about standing firm in what you believe in, continually reaching for a dream until it's made reality, and yeah, fair enough, it's a good lesson to learn. But I feel it's a bit incomplete. Fluttershy didn't have to sacrifice anything, or compromise in any way, or even teach someone else anything in the process. She wanted something, she got others to help her along the way, stood firm when anyone tried to change her vision, and in the end got everything she wanted without any real consequence. Compare this to, say, Rarity's dream of opening a boutique in Canterlot. She hired an expert to help her store get noticed, and it did indeed get noticed. In the process, she was told to sacrifice some of her ideals in order to maintain that success. At first, she did make that sacrifice, and she found out how much it was crippling her passion. She decided to go back to making dresses the way she wanted, knowing full well that it could mean the end of her business in Canterlot. Thankfully, she still found the success she wanted, and at the same time helped her new assistant to learn something essential in the process. When I compare this story to Fluttershy Leans In, I can't help but notice that Canterlot Boutique is so much more engaging and memorable. And it's for these reasons that, I'm sorry to say, Fluttershy Leans In just seems so forgettable. Watching it again for this review, I still find the beginning to be a pretty good setup. And it contains some of the only effective bits of comedy with a few clever background gags. But as for the rest of the episode, I still can't help but think they could have done a few things differently to make the story more engaging. As it stands, I just don't find any reason why I'd want to go back and watch it again. Which is a shame because the rest of Season 7 thus far has always given me something that exceeded my expectations. But I'm sure there's still much more that MLP can give us in the future. What do you think, though? Given what we've seen of Fluttershy in the series thus far, how do you think this episode affected her character arc on the whole? Do you believe the MLP staff could have changed anything to make the story more memorable? Or perhaps you can think of something worthwhile here that I might have missed. I would like to hear your thoughts on Fluttershy Leans In. And here's looking forward to 2 new episodes every weekend from here on out. I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.